Hi again, man. I'm really honored to be able to tell a quick story about a real life flower man that I knew. And this is about my friend Steve Kalaskis. So, this is Steve. This is him in 2000 and probably 14. And he was a neighbor of mine. And the short story of his background is Steve had a business in advertising, and his business was located right near my house. And he had at one point two kids, and he lost one of his children, a 6-year-old, tragically in an accident. And shortly thereafter, his marriage fell apart, and he got divorced. He also ended up getting cancer, a very severe form of cancer that required very, very difficult treatment, which he survived once. And then he actually had a relapse and he survived again. And all the while he was living on this property, and what you see here wasn't there. It was actually just a couple pine trees. And he was under a lot of pressure, or he got a lot of offers to sell his property because it was located in a pretty valuable part of Denver. And a lot of people just wanted to buy it and build some like houses on it, like we see going up all over Denver. And I don't know how much thought he gave to it, but he actually decided to cut the pine trees down and create a garden because that reminded him of his childhood experience growing up in Connecticut. And he wanted to grow corn so that the kids could know what like a cornfield looked like and things like that. He did that for a couple of years, and then he actually approached me because he knew I had a background in farming and asked me to be part of the garden with him. And so, in our first year or second year, this is what our garden looked like, and it's free. It was open to the public to see, and people would walk by every single day. Um, like hundreds of people would walk by on the weekend, and it actually truly brought joy to so many people. And Steve loved people, and he loved talking to them. So many people became a fan of him and of the garden. About 5 years ago, just before I joined DSST, he actually got his third bout of cancer, and within a couple months, he passed away. And when he passed away, his son survived him. He was a 21-year-old son. And Steve was such a big public figure in our community at this point. We ended up holding a massive party and parade in his honor, like a procession. We just took over the streets and walked with hundreds of people in his honor. And so here's the beginning of the parade, and there's me. It doesn't look like much, but I assure you there was hundreds of people. And this is Steve, and this is his truck, and this is him pictured in it. And we had this incredible band playing great music to honor his life. And this is what it looked like as we honored him. And so, what I think about Steve being a flower man, it's interesting that he thought of others in addition to himself when he decided not to sell his property and just have it be houses, and instead built a garden. But actually, it really did bring so much joy to his life and so much meaning to his life. And I think he would argue that some of his last 5 years of living with the garden and the community he built were among his happiest after a very, very dark time. So that's my story of a flower man that I've known.